हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू आई एग्जाम बी। आज हम अपने कंपनीज एक्ट के मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज डिस्कशन को कंटिन्यू करेंगे इस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो में। बट बिफोर दैट, डू रिमेंबर टू सब्सक्राइब टू आवर चैनल एंड प्रेस ऑन द बेल आइकन सो दैट यू कैन स्टे ट्यून्ड एंड स्टे अपडेटेड। आप हमें कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो थ्रू दिस ईमेल आईडी और यू कैन कॉल अस ऑन द नंबर व्हिच इज डिस्प्लेड ऑन द स्क्रीन अगर आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चंस या क्वेरीज हो। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, डू रिमेंबर टू विजिट आवर वेबसाइट वेयरइन यू विल गेट डिटेल्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू वेरियस कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स। So stay tuned and stay updated. तो जैसा मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बताया, आज हम कंपनीज एक्ट के मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज डिस्कशन को कंटिन्यू करेंगे इस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो में भी। और कंपनीज एक्ट के अंडर आज हम देखेंगे शेयर कैपिटल एंड डिबेंचर्स से रिलेटेड मॉक टेस्ट। तो बिफोर आई गो अहेड विद दैट, व्हाट इज बेसिकली शेयर कैपिटल एंड डिबेंचर्स? तो शेयर कैपिटल और डिबेंचर्स को हम सिंपली समझ सकते हैं कि ये फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हैं जो कि कंपनी को हेल्प करती है कि वो रेस करे फंड्स अपने बिजनेस के लिए फॉर इट्स ग्रोथ। शेयर्स एंड डिबेंचर्स को हम कलेक्टिवली एज सिक्योरिटीज रेफर करते हैं। सो इफ वी टर्म दीज टू टुगेदर, दे आर रेफर टू एज द सिक्योरिटीज। एंड कंपनीज एक्ट कहता है दीज आर बेसिकली द मूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी विच कैन बी ट्रांसफर्ड एज पर द आर्टिकल्स ऑफ एसोसिएशन। शेयर कैपिटल एंड डिबेंचर्स हमने बोला फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स है, कलेक्टिवली सिक्योरिटीज होते हैं, बट दीज आर डिफरेंट वेज ऑफ फंडिंग विच अ कंपनी हैज द ऑप्शन ऑफ। तो शेयर capital is basically, you can say, that capital which is owned by the company, okay, for its business operations and all. Whereas if we talk about debentures, वो basically represent करता है debts of the company. It's an obligation of the company. So the persons who have invested in the company, who are the owners of the company, they are referred to as the shareholders, okay. And if we talk about debentures, so those who are holding the debentures of the company, they are the debenture holders. They are the lenders who have provided or who have lent it to the company, and so the company owes a debt to the debenture holders. So these are the basic idea with respect to share capital and debentures. If we move ahead with our questions, the very first question is, what are the various types of share capital of a company limited by shares? Various options available are equity shares, preference shares, equity shares with differential voting rights, all A, B and C, both A and B, and the correct option is E, which is both A and B. And what is A and B? Equity shares and preference shares. So these are the kinds of or types of share capital जो कि एक कंपनी लिमिटेड बाय शेयर्स की होती है, ठीक है। सेक्शन 43 में इससे रिलेटेड प्रोविजंस हैं that the share capital of a company limited by shares be of two kinds, equity share and preference shares. Equity shares में आप फिर देख सकते हो there is subcategory of equity shares that is with voting rights and with differential voting rights, and that is with respect to voting or dividend, or it could be otherwise also. So now moving on to the next question, the preferential shares with reference to a company limited by shares means that part of the issued share capital of the company which carries or would carry a preferential right with respect to. So basically what are preference shares is the question what it is talking about. So preference shares होते क्या हैं? Preference shares में हमें जैसा नाम ही से पता चल रहा है कि preference is being given with respect to certain things. So this question is basically asking that preference is given with respect to what, and the correct option for this is D, the payment of dividend either as a fixed amount or an amount calculated at a fixed rate. Section 43 is providing provision with respect to that. So preference shares with reference to a company limited by shares means that part of the issued share capital of the company which carries or would carry a preferential right with respect to what? Payment of dividend either at a fixed amount or an amount calculated at a fixed rate, and repayment in the case of winding up. Then question number 3 is talking about the special resolution authorizing the issue of sweat equity shares be valid for making the allotment within a period of. So जो sweat equity shares company issue करती है उसको authorize करने के लिए that the company can go ahead and issue the sweat equity shares, a special resolution is required to be passed. So this question is asking what is the validity of that particular special resolution, what the sweat equity shares they basically mean. So वो shares जो company issue करती है अपने आप कह लो डायरेक्टर्स को, एम्प्लॉइज को, उनके कंट्रीब्यूशन के लिए to the company, that is basically sweat equity shares, and it could be issued at a discounted price or it could be for consideration other than cash, and that will be because they have contributed in the growth of the company, they have contributed to the know-how, or they have added value to the company with respect to that. So the validity of the special resolution that will be not more than 12 months from the date of passing of the special resolution. So 12 months is the validity period of that particular special resolution जो कि हमारे हमारे कंपनी शेयर कैपिटल एंड डिबेंचर्स रूल्स 2014 में दिया है, रूल 8 के अंडर. So 12 months, it cannot be more than 12 months. Now question number 4, that is talking about the notice of the meeting at which the special resolution is proposed to be passed authorizing the buyback shall be accompanied by an explanatory statement stating. So buyback is what? When the company goes ahead and purchases its own shares or securities. So जो notice होती है with respect to the meeting wherein the special resolution will be passed with respect to authorizing the company to go ahead for the buyback, that particular notice has to be accompanied by an explanatory statement. तो उस explanatory statement में क्या क्या चीजें mention होनी चाहिए, and you can see the various options are amount to be invested, time limit for completion, disclosure of all material facts, class of securities to be purchased, and all A, B, C and D. And the correct option with respect to this is E, which section 68 is talking about this power of the company to purchase its own securities. Notice of the meeting at which the special resolution is proposed to be passed be accompanied by an explanatory statement stating the full and complete disclosure of all the material facts, necessity for going ahead for buyback, the class of shares or securities intended to be purchased under the buyback, the amount to be invested, time limit for the completion. So all these are very important with respect to the buyback of the securities. Now question number 5, that talks about where the debentures are issued by a company, the company shall create a debenture redemption reserve account out of the profits of the company available for payment of dividend. Amount credited may be utilized by the company for such use as the board of directors may decide. Amount credited shall not be utilized by the company except for the redemption of debentures, both A and B, both A and C. Correct option over here is both A and C. So what is A? The debenture redemption reserve account has to be created out of the profits of the company available for the payment of dividend, and C is the amount credited that shall not be utilized by the company except for the redemption of debentures. So section 71, which is related to debenture, that mentions where the debentures are issued by a company, the company shall create a debenture redemption reserve account out of the profits of the company available for the payment of dividend, and the amount to be credited to such account not to be utilized by the company except for the redemption of debentures. The next question is no company shall issue prospectus or make an offer or invitation to the public or to its members for the subscription of its debentures unless the company has before such issue or offer appointed one or more debenture trustees. And the correct option for this is B, which is exceeding 500. So again section 71 इसके बारे में provision provide करता है under subsection 5 की no company shall issue a prospectus or make an offer or invitation to the public or to its members exceeding 500 for the subscription of its debentures unless the company before such issue or offer appointed one or more debenture trustees. And the very next question, that is question number 7, that is talking about which statement is correct relating to the debentures issued by a company. जो debentures issue करती है company, उससे related इनमें से कौन सा statement correct है? And the correct option with respect to this question is E, which is both B and C. So B क्या है? Debentures carrying an option to convert such debentures into shares can be issued, and secured debentures may be issued by a company subject to such terms and conditions as may be prescribed. So section 71 again, which is related to debentures, under subsection 1 and 2 it mentions a company may issue debentures with an option to convert such debentures into shares wholly or partly at the time of redemption. So redemption के time में there is an option with the debenture holder that the debentures that can be converted into shares, but that has to be approved by a special resolution, and then only there can be a conversion, and this special resolution will be passed at the general meeting. Second is no company shall issue any debentures carrying any voting rights. So debenture holders, they are the lenders of the company, and so they are not having any voting rights. Only the shareholders, the people who have invested in the company, who are the owners of the shares of the company, only they have the voting rights. So debenture holders, they do not have any voting rights. Secured debentures may be issued by a company subject to such terms and conditions as may be prescribed. Now our next question, that is question number 8, that is a company may purchase its own shares or other specified securities subject to the following conditions. So when the company is going ahead and purchasing its own shares or other specified securities, that is basically what? Buyback, जो हमने पहले term use किया था. So when the company is going ahead with the buyback, there are certain conditions which is required to be complied by the company, and those conditions are which of these you have to select. So it should be authorized by the articles, it should be completed within a period of 1 year, special resolution be passed at the general meeting authorizing the buyback, it should be done out of the securities premium account, all the above. So इनमें से कौन सा सही ऑप्शन है, कंडीशन है, and the correct option is E, which is all the above. ये सारे कंडीशंस फुलफिल होने चाहिए जो कि हमारे सेक्शन 68 में दिया हुआ है. So a company may purchase its own shares or other specified securities, which is referred to as buyback, out of the free reserve securities premium account, proceeds of the issue of the shares or other specified securities. Then no company shall purchase its own shares or specified securities unless the buyback is authorized by the articles. Special resolution has been passed authorizing the buyback, and buyback has to be completed within a period of 1 year from the date of passing of the special resolution. So these are the various conditions. Our next question number 9 is, what are the exceptions to the prohibition of the issue of shares at a discount? So the Companies Act mentions that there is a prohibition with respect to going ahead and issuing the shares at a discount. However, to this general rule, there are certain exceptions, and the correct option for this particular question is E, which is both A and either B or C. So it is sweat equity shares and shares issued to the creditors in pursuance of debt structuring scheme, or shares issued to the creditors in pursuance of any statutory resolution plan, which is given under section 53, that is talking about prohibition on the issue of shares at a discount. Now our last question for today's discussion is where the dividend in respect of a class of preference shares has not been paid for a period of dash or more, such class of preference shareholders shall have the right to vote on dash. And the various options you can see, and the correct option with respect to this question is B, which is 2 years. So if the dividend has not been paid for a period of 2 years or more, then the class of preference shareholders, they will have a right to vote on all the resolutions which are placed before the company. So section 47 is talking about voting rights, where the dividend in respect of a class of preference shares has not been paid for a period of 2 years or more, such class of preference shareholders shall have a right to vote on all the resolutions before the company. Otherwise, the preference shareholders, they only have the right to go ahead and vote on those resolutions which are actually directly affecting their rights. Otherwise, they cannot vote on all the resolutions which have been placed before the company. And so with this, we come to an end of our discussion. Stay tuned with iExamBee for preparing for your competitive exams 50% faster with our crisp note, doubt clarifying classes, and free mock tests.